tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AFTERBUZZ TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
There weren't really a lot of songs about being eaten alive by a giant monster.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure I recently used What Is This Feeling in another after show. So we're going with this.
We're bad people.
River jokes are river jokes. We're terrible people, and it's great.
We're river people.
Okay, I like
We're river
it.
folk.
Oh, friend, I grew up in the mountains. Yeah, welcome back to the Samurai Jack AfterBuzz TV After Show. Thank you for joining us again. This week we are looking at Season 5, Episodes 3 and 4, and I have no idea what the Roman numerals are because I can't translate worth a damn, as it turns out.
Romans be damned.
So it's just Episodes 3 and 4, and these episodes, y'all, what you think?
So good.
The jam. Oh, man.
So pretty.
So beautiful.
Oh, my God.
Both,
The fight in the snow,
fight in
where
the
they
snow
use
with
like
the
negative
fog.
space and still have depth, but it's all white, and I don't know how they do it, but it's amazing.
It's so beautiful.
Magic.
Yeah.
It has to be magic.
And that same quality with the fish sequence in inside the belly of the beast.
It was pretty pink elephants on parade.
It
Oh,
was.
it was.
Great.
Very much
It was
so.
that, or Friends on the Other Side. Or
I've been watching a lot of the BBC Planet Earth, the deep water stuff.
Yeah,
So I
that's
was like,
that,
yeah,
isn't it?
show me more.
Yeah.
I'm in there.
See, I thought these two episodes were great, but for very different reasons.
Well, they're very different episodes.
Oh, yeah.
Like, one of them, one of them's clearly darker than the other one. And yeah,
Oh, man.
they're telling different types of stories.
I'm so happy that we're back. But yeah, turns out I skipped introducing my wonderful panelists who are here with me today talking about this awesome show. We have Andrew Mena.
I'm Andrew Mena. This is my voice. If you want to follow me on Twitter, then do it. It's ANDREWMENA, or maybe Instagram, the Andrew Mena. Just add the to the beginning of my name.
Joelle Monique.
Hey guys, I'm Joelle Monique, and you can find me all over the internet at Joelle Monique and every week at blackgirlnerds.com.
Megan Salinas.
Hey guys, you can tweet at me at the Mengman. That's TheMenguin.
And I'm Katie Cullen. You can find me on the social medias at Kiaxet. That is KIAXET. We have the Twitter hashtag ABTVJack, and it looks like we already have a few fun things in there. And we are going to have the live chat up in just a moment. So if you've got something to say, if you have any questions or comments, throw them in the hashtag, throw them in the live chat. You may well get a shout out. Let's start at the beginning because we're already making river jokes. Let's just roll with it.
Oh my goodness.
We have a good, 5-minute sequence of Jack just floating down the river and occasionally getting screamed at by hallucinatory frogs.
Oh, that frog, it surprised me. I went for a drink of water and I was like, oh no, frog!
I really like all of Jack's subconscious beings talking to him. I like that none of them are Jiminy
Manifestations, yeah.
Crickets. Like, I like that none of them are well thought out, be a better person, Jack. Like, Jack is always telling his subconscious, no, we can do better.
I'm realizing more and more that hallucination Jack, like past Jack, is kind of inner monologue Jack.
Oh, yeah, most definitely. I like it a lot because I feel like Jack is so quiet. It's kind of cool to see the chaos that's going on inside of his head.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And previous seasons, he would talk and have conversations with people, but we never really knew 100% like what was going on in there.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I would love to take that moment to talk about past Jack, hallucination Jack's teeth. So creepy.
Teeth.
Is that because he thinks of himself that way, or he used to be that way, or I have so many questions about what that means.
It's his inner demons.
Yeah, I guess
Quite
so.
literally.
Coming out. Yes.
Yeah, I feel like anytime Jack talks, because he's very, his inner monologue is very inconsistent, given the turmoil he's going through. At one minute it's like, hey, I just want it to end, let's just end this thing, I'm over it. And then the next it's tormenting him about having taken a life. And then later on it's like, hey, you should really just ditch this person and let's go. So it's like the darkest part of his heart, given voice.
It also feels like an older, younger kind of situation. Like, Jack's been alive for so damn long at this point, and I feel like younger him was so thirsty for the fight. Well, he was just ready to do battle. He had a plan, he had a mission, and he was going to succeed at all costs. And now we see a Jack who's kind of weighing the ramifications of those actions, and kind of taking a look around to see how he's affecting other people, which I think is interesting.
Real quick, can we zoom in on the chat, please? I can't read it. That sounds good, but it ain't that good. Yeah, and because he has two different flavors of hallucinations, rather. He has past Jack, inner demons, whatever we're going to call it, fangs. And he also has just these little environmental, incidental hallucinations, things that are kind of vaguely okay, and then they go nuts. The frog that, it's a frog, and then it starts screaming, they're coming, they're coming. The murder of crows, literally screaming murder.
Murderer.
And the tiny hallucinatory puffball, which I think was one of my favorite
Absolute
things.
favorite.
Tiny British puffball. That was just extremely British at him. Well, what did you think would happen? A hug and a kiss?
So cute and so mean. Like a British person. Just so cute, but also with the capacity for true cruelty. It was amazing.
Yeah, it was just this tiny British puffball that just kept sniping at him. It was wonderful.
I don't want to talk to you anymore.
Yeah, no, British puffball was not a nice puffball, but
Was the cutest puffball.
was the cutest puffball.
Sassy British
Pretty
puffball.
Sassy British. Someone make plushies of those, or like put
Yes.
out a shirt. I need that in my life.
If it can light up too, I would really appreciate it.
Sassy, bright, light up British puffball. Squeeze it, and it lowers your self-esteem.
Well, and not to mention, we did get one more hallucination of the Green Samurai.
We did.
As he's dragging himself through the woods. And I think for a lot of people, this kind of lends credence to the theory or the idea that that particular hallucination is the manifestation of death.
Because it didn't show up at all in episode 4, but episode 4, he never really felt like he was going to die.
Right.
No, and he had some stuff to feel guilty about too, but like because of the situation they were in, I feel like a lot of the emotions that we see from him when he does see the Green Samurai, they didn't pop up in the episode with him and Ashi.
Well, and let's talk a little bit about Ashi, and let's talk a little bit about the rest of the sisters, because
man.
they gone.
They gone.
They are.
I
Unless the two that he hit and then fell survived that fall, because we've shown that it's possible.
Yes.
I would not put it past the series to have those in their back pocket for later and have Ashi eventually have to fight her sisters.
Oh, yeah.
I would not put it past the series.
Or the next generation, because the mothers of the tribe do not seem to rely on they don't seem the kinds of people who are like, yeah, we have our team of 7 and that's good. They'll definitely cover us. I'm sure they've been doing this a couple of times.
Yeah, plenty of incarnations of these sisters.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I wrote down all of the ways in which he killed each of the women.
Real
this
dark.
episode.
Wow,
Real
dude.
dark.
2 and 3 with spears. Number 4 with a knife. It impaled her on the tree. The same knife that was then the next one used later, which was like, oh man, you have your sister's blood on that knife. That's very upsetting.
Real
It's
gross.
very pragmatic.
Number 5 got thrown. Like just straight up thrown, which was amazing. That was my favorite one, I think.
Bye.
Number 6 had I thought her neck got broke because she went owl neck. Her neck went
Oh,
fully
you heard
around.
the crunch. He definitely
Yeah.
punched her face so hard it broke her neck.
But
It
then
was
she
amazing.
kept fighting.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yes. So I mean, I feel like she's probably more prone to being dead, though.
Yeah.
Maybe, I don't know.
I
Maybe
feel
her
like
HP
those
was
two
real
other
low.
ones, I feel like they died.
Yeah, she was definitely bloody.
Yeah.
Yeah. In any case, and then the last one he just let Ashi drop, which I also thought was really cool. It was this moment of like he's not he's not attacking her anymore. He's not being the like.
Well, that was a
cornered animal.
conscious choice
Yeah.
too, because like she's not coming at him in this moment, and he actively chose to let her drop to the ground. Like he didn't have to at that point.
Let's
He
talk
could've
about
walked
that, because
away.
Regine in the chat was just saying that she was like, I feel like Samurai Jack got over killing really fast. Like he was kind of tormented about it. We talked about the murder of crows a little bit earlier and how they were tormenting him. And then he comes basically and says to the girls, like, it's your choice. You can leave now or I'll have to kill you because clearly you're not going to give up killing me. And I feel like at this point, like, he doesn't really have another option. Like, he can't run forever.
Yeah.
So I was kind of glad that he was like, yeah, I'm going to do this. Especially after he has this, like, great conversation with the wolves. I mean, not even conversation, but this, like, great
the moments
interaction.
with the wolf.
Yeah.
Which so cute.
And we should talk about like the flashback with Dad, because that was a big part of that. Is first talking with this hallucination. Oh, it's not about your little cut. It's about the girl that you murdered. I'm like, that's not a little cut. I think he damaged a kidney there.
Yeah.
Like those are necessary for life, but okay, we'll leave that.
A lot of the stuff that needs to be inside is on the outside now. Not a little cut.
That's fine. The bleeding's all internal, and that's where it's supposed to be.
It's only a scratch.
Only a flesh wound.
This flashback with him being a little kid and traveling with his parents and his dad basically having to get out of the carriage and wreck these bandits that had gone after them. Saying that, I wrote it down because there were two really good lines in here that, of course, came back. Your choices have clearly led you here, as have mine. I will give you a new choice. Leave now and live, or stay here and face your destiny. Like, obviously we're going to fight, but this is the line in the sand. This is your option to walk away and live. And then later on we have, the decisions you make and the actions that follow are a reflection of who you are. You cannot hide from yourself. And that's life wisdom right there.
Mic drop.
Good talk, Dad.
Samurai
Good
Dad.
talk.
Yes.
Bumper sticker.
Ant says Jack's dad was a savage, and I have to agree. He was brutal,
Dude.
but also a gentleman.
Yeah.
Well, you had to in order to survive back then. Like,
Absolutely.
guards are well and good, so you don't have to get your hands dirty. But if you can't throw down, you're not going to live
Yeah,
for
you're
long.
not going to be the emperor. And he definitely, it's super reminiscent of like those wonderful old like samurai movies. And
Yeah.
like it's just that beautiful moment of like this man has drawn that line. Yeah, like you said, the line in the sand. It's,
Yeah.
The entire episode felt very Miyazaki to me.
Well,
in more ways than one.
And
I see that.
we forget every now and then because Samurai Jack is the protagonist, but his dad defeated Aku at one point.
Sure did.
Yeah, so like clearly this guy can throw down, but it's nice to see how much of like an honorable person he was and how much he tried. You know, he tried his best to do the right thing, and just sometimes you're backed into a corner and you have no other options.
I mean, you're not going to roll over and die. You have duties and you have a family.
Yeah,
And for Jack, at least, he has a duty, so he can't roll over and die.
I like that it seemed an option for him, though, at one point in the cave, because, like, do you just want to die? He's like, no, I'm going to live. It'll be totally fine. Just pull this knife that's been in my belly for, like, 2 days out.
And then sew myself together with a little bit of tree bark and a bone. Just like, yep.
so brutal.
I'm sure that's not the
Metal
first
as hell.
time.
It was awesome.
And that's not the first time he's ever had to do that, let's be real.
The next time I get sick, though, I want a wolf to just pop in.
A wolf companion that
bring
had
me
a
a
parallel
bird.
story with
Yes.
you.
Yes.
How great was that moment too when he's preparing for whatever's coming into the cave, covered in blood, and then we see the wolf covered in blood, like with the exact same type of artistic
Yeah.
line.
Same art style? Same art style.
Great
Same art
visual
style.
storytelling where
beautiful.
you're just
So
like,
good.
oh, they're in the same boat, and then for them to like feed one another and always be sharing. And then what I was most impressed was the moment when they decide to part ways.
Yes,
Yeah.
I was gonna say
Because you
that
could
too.
tell it instantly. Like Wolf came out with like, I don't know how a wolf can look both sad and like regal, if that makes sense. Like,
Absolutely.
He came out, he had that like super strong jawline, just looking out along the horizon, and was like, "This is it. You're healed. I'm healed. We're moving forward." And
Yeah,
I was
he,
like,
like-
"My God, this is." I hope he comes back because I just want to see them fight
Yes.
side by side together.
Just like, my work here is done, at least for now.
Samurai
Good night.
Jack could get his own like dire wolf.
And that's what I was
Ghost.
hoping
It
was
would
going
be
to
so
happen. I'm
great.
not even going to
New
lie.
prediction: the green figure is actually Jack riding the wolf. It just looks like a horse. It just looks like a horse, you guys. It's actually the wolf.
I love
They're
it.
playing a long con on us. It's gonna be great.
Spyragon Studio says, you wouldn't want to stitch yourself together with a bone, though, would you? Well, no, you wouldn't
No.
want to, but if that's your option, you're gonna do it.
I wouldn't want
Because
to.
it's either that or bleed out.
Yeah, let's call
I
Bear
would
Grylls
want,
on this.
I would want to have a medical professional stitch me
Yeah,
up
come on,
after
in a
knocking
hospital.
me out with
absolutely.
lots of anesthetic.
Yeah.
Oh, no, I've been stitched up by a medical professional before. Wasn't knocked out, but did get stitched up.
That sounds awful.
Pass.
Job
So-
stories.
Yeah.
Did they use a bone?
Hard pass.
No.
Hard pass.
Well,
Let's
then
blast
does
it.
it
He
even
didn't even
count?
sterilize
Yeah.
it.
He didn't even, yeah. Like, well, what does he even have to sterilize it with? It's not like he has a bottle of booze like in the movies where they're like, yeah, pour some whiskey
No,
on
a
it.
little bit for you, a
He's
little
got
bit
that
for me.
wolf saliva though
He's
to
got that
heal
sweet
him right
wolf
up.
saliva.
Yeah.
Mm.
Because
Cleanest
that's
part
what
of the wolf.
works.
Yeah.
I mean, it is possible that because of wibbly wobbly timey wimey magic that keeps him young, it is possible that he does heal at a little bit of a
I was
faster
wondering
rate.
Sure.
that too, and I definitely thought like, okay, well he must be immortal, so he can't die. It's gonna be painful as hell, but he's not gonna die. in here.
My time is really weird in this series.
Also fair.
Yeah.
Just this episode and the next episode is like, how long are they doing this? How long were they in there? How long were they waiting? The best I can figure is that it took forever and a day for the sisters to get out of an exploded, crushed temple.
It did take them forever.
Like that's what I'm going with. I'm
That's
going
good, 'cause
with
I had
it
a lot
took
of questions
them a
about
long
that.
chunk of time.
I don't know know about that because they punched their way
They did.
out of it.
How long do you think they've been punching their way out, though?
I love
Those are human
everything.
fists.
I love everything about the sisters, but my one little gripe of this episode is how do they, like, I love that they're expert trackers and they know how to track and climb trees, but, like, from what they seem like, with the deer especially, but also with their training, it seems like they've never been outside before.
Yeah.
You
So
can
how
do
do they know-
tracking and tree climbing exercises all within that huge
I
cave,
guess
though. You can do
so.
climbing
You're
exercises.
following the river.
And a tree is
Do
similar.
they have
then.
like a sit down student portion of the day where they're like trees? I like this.
With
and
a
then they have
PowerPoint,
branches.
PowerPoint
Basically,
presentation.
I'm
they
so
were just like,
curious.
where's the blood? Where's the blood? Follow the blood.
Totally.
Oh, he went in the river. The river is bloody. Okay, let's just go down the river and
Do
see
you
if we
think they
can
like
find
hunted
more
rats
blood.
or something in the caves? Or like,
Maybe.
I want to see the parallels. I'm like so curious.
I
about-
don't necessarily think that they're expert trackers. I really just think that they were following the
felt like
blood.
they were.
I feel like
that's
you know,
not
mom
difficult.
and anti like sisters of
Anti-murder?
yeah, Sisters of Aku probably just provided food for them, unless it was a specific exercise of you go get your own
that's what I
food
was
now.
thinking.
Well, and we
Yeah.
definitely
Like the
saw
Arya
them
Stark hunting cats
tracking
thing.
and training people down in with the end of episode 1, early episode 2, when they're like doing their final approval thing. They have to kill the older sisters. I feel like they probably have some pretty good training, at least in hunting technique. I don't know
Sure.
how
I
great
mean,
trackers
They
they are.
can jump from
Yeah.
rock to rock like a badass, but like
But the bit with the deer was explained with the ladybug flashback later on. Is the
Yes.
anything from the outside world is a distraction. And on one hand, okay, that gets you a good single-minded focus. On the other hand, there's a lot of things in the outside world
Yeah.
that you need to know how to deal with that aren't just gonna kill the samurai. So I love them coming upon the deer and
Like, did
being
they know
like,
what
what is
snow
this? We have no
was?
idea what this is. Oh, this must be an agent of Aku. It will consume the weaker
Yeah.
one.
It's
Wait,
got
what the
Atlas.
hell is
this is so
happening?
good. I love how
just-
quickly they make that assumption too.
Well, that's all they know.
Yeah.
So if it has antlers, it must be like Aku. And
Shaped
then
like
it's
Aku?
What?
Must be
Shaped
an
like
Aku.
Aku. Obviously, there is an Aku. It is Aku shaped.
Yeah.
Yeah, just dear God.
And just signs of affection. They're immediately like, "What's happening? I don't
don't
like
like
it.
it."
I
Yeah.
reject it." No.
Ant actually asked a good question in the chat. He says, "How did Jack lose his sword?"
We don't know
we know
yet.
he
We
lost
want to
it
know.
in a presumably in a fight, and that it fell off of some form of cliff into some form of hole or chasm or something. Question mark?
And it's
Could have been a fjord.
it keeps coming back in the opening. You know, there's that shot of him in the rain holding the sword. So yeah, I assume at some point during this run, he will try to obtain the sword again. It is possible though that he could maybe make another one.
But that was a magical
Oh,
sword.
man.
It was a
Like,
magical
how are you gonna do
sword
the thing?
with
Gotta
magic.
get some magic.
Oh yeah, because he's good at that.
What I
He's
really
gotta find
appreciate is that Jack doesn't really need a sword.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh, yeah.
I feel
He
like,
could
well,
use
if you watch like the older episodes, I always, like the sword was an extension of his body and was part of like the tools and the craft, and he has fought without it before, but like the sword, it was amazing. But here he's just like picking up sharp flowers and beating the crap out of shelled creatures. It's kind of amazing to see how capable he is without the sword.
Morningstar.
He's had to learn to survive, though,
That's
with
also
everything.
true.
With his primary weapon gone, he's had to learn to adapt to everything around him, and probably an understanding that, yeah, just because you like a weapon doesn't mean it's sticking around.
Yeah. He's like a just as funny.
Spyragon says Darkness Bambi, and I think we should keep that.
Darkness
Hashtag Darkness Bambi.
Bambi.
Yes, please.
I was just gonna say, Samurai Jack is basically a just as funny Jackie Chan. Like they're neck and neck. They're hilarious.
I was gonna say, for such a serious character and for how dark this particular season is, he's got a great sense of comedic timing, and he tried so hard in episode 4 to make jokes and to make
Yeah.
banter, and
It's
even
called acupuncture.
To be light.
and you can tell, even though he's getting, his inner monologue manifestations keep telling him to leave her behind, you can tell he's just happy to have somebody real to talk to. Even if every other word out of her mouth is die samurai or,
Scum,
praise
yeah.
Aku. I think he's just really happy that there's a real live person
It's clear
there.
that he's happy because he's willing to just throw chains around her body and attach her to his body and carry her weight, despite the fact that she's trying to kill him at every turn.
Literally
Like,
slash
carries
from
him
the
like a
back.
little baby.
Any
he's like,
chance.
this is great, let's go.
Yeah.
I think my favorite part was when he's fighting those like insect the Starship
The first
Trooper
ones.
looking
Yeah.
monsters, and she's like constantly headbutting him, and
Yes.
he just screams, and she gets knocked out, and he's like, Hello? Were you still back there?
Just that crazy woman, can you not see that I'm trying to save your life?
Well, as talking about
yeah.
color, like just the streaks of blue all over them during that too. That
Yeah.
was so cool.
I loved that he was able to turn the leg into a sword, and that
Hell
sword
yeah.
was somehow harder material than their teeth. I was like,
And you cut through those teeth like butter. I was like, oh,
they
man.
have
But
butter
keep in
teeth.
mind
So
that these are
painful.
like tiny parasites, essentially, to this large thing. So he's kind of just fighting bacteria.
Yeah, that's true. So kind of like meatballs.
A little
Bacteria the size of
consistency of
himself.
meatballs.
though.
bit. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's a little more adept than a bacteria.
I like
Hopefully.
what Tyler says in the chat, #bug armor, which was adorable.
That made me so happy. Like, I like the back fur. Coming from you, hideous is a compliment. I'll take it.
Yeah.
Like, he's
Well,
just like,
thank you.
I have a hate friend. And that's basically it, because the hallucinations stop once he starts kind of easing into the joking and really trying to get through to her.
Yeah.
Like,
He has
that's the
someone to
last
actually
we
talk
see
to.
of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Be my friend!
Love it.
I'm going to save your life whether you like it or not.
Which is an interesting, I think what it is, which is an interesting avenue for him to take, because, I mean, she is actively verbally threatening him the entire time
Yeah.
they're talking, and at any point, he could have just killed her and then been like, hey, self-defense, she was going to kill me the second my back was turned, but I feel like he changed his mind completely the second she was unmasked and started screaming at him. Like, at that point, you know, when he initially chains her up and she's just like screaming at him about how he's scum and how great Aku is, he's like, oh,
You are very troubled.
Yeah.
because the whole idea for him prior to that was, hey, these women made their choice and they chose to pursue me and I had to defend myself. I think it's in this moment where he realizes, no, I don't think they actually did have a choice. I'm going to go out of my way to try to help
Well,
her.
they're also faceless, like, creatures.
Yeah, they're
before
faceless
that.
monsters.
Like, the white, like, black-eyed, no expression. And I mean, we've seen a lot of masks that can show facial expression before in animation. I like that they kept it very clean. Like, they are masks. They're not actually people at this point. And as soon as that mask falls off, and it's like a little girl
throwing a tantrum.
Yeah.
Exactly.
absolutely.
And I like that he's like, I can change her. like through the entire like digestive system of a creature, he's like, no, I can change her.
Well, and he straight up says, I've seen robots programmed with this much hate before, but never a human being. And he gets that it's programming.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I love that. I love
Well,
it.
and later in the
I miss
episode,
the
he
sense
even,
of humor.
later in the episode, he even refers to her as an innocent.
Yeah.
He
Like,
does.
yeah, she's clearly like, been brainwashed to think a particular way.
Yeah, I've missed the sense of humor in this show. I've really missed being able to laugh, and so we finally have that in this episode. It's like, okay, we're backing off on the suicide a little bit, and we're just having this great 8,000% done with everything, staring at the camera like he's on The Office humor, and trying so hard to make jokes and acupuncture, and oh, you think it's terrible? That's a compliment. And
I
just
love this
like,
moment
oh, honey.
when she's on her knees as soon as they fall down, and she was like, I think she said something to the effect of like, bless you, Aku, like, I've killed him, and he's like, but we're not.
I'm
I'm
not
dead
standing
yet.
right here, yeah.
I've been inside an animal before, and I was like,
We'll find
yeah,
a way
you
out.
have,
I've
Jack.
been inside giant creatures before.
I
I'll find a
loved
way
that
out. Just like,
reference.
meh.
Can we talk about how, what do you guys think they came out of? Was that a blowhole or was that his butt?
So
I-
it's on top of his back, but it looked like there might have been multiple pieces.
It's like a
Multiple
worm
little
creature.
worms.
Does
feel
it really
like
have a back?
Genndy Tartakovsky
It
was working on this episode at the same time that the Voltron folks were working
boy.
on their space worm.
This is what I think a weblin
You
looks
come out
like.
of you come out of worm butts. It's just how it works.
I think they're just happy to be out.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't need to
And
think
now
about it too
I would
much.
rather
Certainly
think of
looked
them
like-
as blowhole fish than buttfish.
It certainly looked like a winking
Neon
eye.
buttfish.
Yeah, the neon buttfish. I loved, like, that was my favorite part, was all the fish parts.
The bioluminescence
beautiful.
and the freaking skeleton.
Yeah, I loved that skeleton
With
eel monster.
so
And
many
then seeing
eyes.
it in the light and seeing that, okay, it does have skin and whatnot. It's just kind of see-through. Like, oh, the design for all of these fish. Just...
It was
Even
really
the
rad.
like predatory ability for their eyes to go different, the 3 eyes don't have to all look the same way until
Yeah,
it's
look
getting
in
this
different
full
directions.
scope. I'm like, it can see you wherever you hide. You need to run. Hiding inside of a jellyfish-esque like creature,
Kinda
pretty
jellyfish.
smart.
Yeah.
There you go.
Pretty smart.
And the fact that they established that the jellyfish stop when this thing is around and it just kind of sneaks through them. And so it starts chasing them again and they stop that close to the entrance. It's like, oh, yeah, no, that makes sense. I love everything in this bar.
Yes.
Just
Yeah.
so good. And then, yeah, they survive.
They make it out.
They're absolutely
They
done.
make it to a tiny island.
And Ashi is still just ready to go. And then we
Poor
have
Ashi.
ladybugs. I love to see that
Ladybugs.
ladybugs have survived into the far distant Aku
Yes.
future.
Me too.
Like, not everything is horrifying
They are
and terrible.
eternal.
They're a symbol of luck, right? So, I mean, it's like almost... I always thought so. I don't know if... Like, maybe you guys have this experience, but when I was
I'll
a little
Google
kid...
ladybug symbolism.
Yeah, because when I was a
boy.
little kid, if you found a ladybug and it, like, landed on you, that was good luck, and you blew it away and you got a wish or something. Something like that.
Yeah, but I also feel like that's something that gets passed along kids, like that weird S that we all
Okay.
drew in the 90s that people
Sure.
are still drawing today for some
Absolutely.
reason.
No, I know what you're talking about.
No one knows where it came from.
I don't know. I just think I almost felt like it was a symbol of hope, and I like because it is a really pretty, small, like delicate, gentle thing.
And I think we
That
all had that
survives.
reaction to killing the ladybug, like, no.
Yeah, and they showed the whole thing.
Yeah, it's like, why
They didn't
did
even
you
cut
do that?
away.
It's a ladybug.
I
Please
know.
stop.
I like this idea that she's been a kind of gentle soul her whole life. This idea of when she's like looking through the crack earlier and she sees nature and she's always been
Yeah.
kind of drawn to like
She's
the
awed by it.
beautiful things. And I like that that is what breaks her away. It's just seeing like how somebody else treats a ladybug is kind of
Yeah.
sweet.
Yeah, well, because the second she sees him let it go, that, like, she knows for a fact that everything he's been saying is most likely true, because why would, again, benevolent Aku, who is supposed to be, you know, father of fathers or whatever, why would it be so important to crush the things from this world when the supposed parasite is the one that lets nature be and lets it go? And as you were saying, Andrew, the cute little ladybug animal totem has long been considered a symbol of luck.
Yay.
Yep. It is, it's
His
also...
luck's turning around.
I feel like I need luck right now.
Yeah,
No.
no kidding.
It's
What, like-
also considered recognized as a symbol of protection in Ireland, and farmers in particular appreciate this bug as an omen of a bountiful harvest, as ladybugs are a natural source for pest control.
Well, that cinches it. She's probably a farmer, and she's probably Irish. We've nailed it, you guys.
X with a shotgun says ladybugs can also symbolize open-mindedness, which is very
Oh,
cool.
I do
And
like
then Tyler C asked, do you think they'll ship Jack and Ashi? And then I have a follow-up question. Do we ship Jack and Ashi?
Nah.
I don't like mentor-mentee sexual relationships.
I agree.
They happen sometimes in real life. I think it's okay to explore them in all forms of media. I didn't like it when Bruce was sleeping with Barbara Gordon. That bothers me.
Yes.
I just think like that, especially when we have older men and younger females, it's just nice to see what does a healthy mentor-mentee relationship look like.
That's
Yes.
my... Here's the thing, I kind of do. I kind of do, but I don't like the age gap, because he
That's weird.
What,
I'm between
I guess
Edward Cullen
80
and Bella.
I am
Point.
guessing he's like 70, 80
Yeah.
at this point, at least mid-70s, because I assume he was in his mid-20s when he got thrown into the future in the
Yeah.
first place.
Well, and let's be real, none of them, like there's more than one, neither of them are in a good place mentally right
Oh,
now.
no.
Like, this is the last thing on anyone's mind, because Ashi's like, everything I know is a lie, and Jack is like, I'm talking to people who aren't here.
And I always laugh, because anytime I think about, like, shipping in Samurai Jack, the only time he ever came close to having a romantic love interest, it turned out to be Aku. And that makes me laugh and laugh and laugh. So, like, the last time Jack probably flirted with a girl, it was Aku. So he's probably
makes me
like,
true.
think I'm over the dating thing.
It makes me think of Mask of the Phantasm.
Oh.
Totally.
Now that we talked about the age, it makes me think a little bit of like Aragorn and Eowyn. Where he's like, honey, we are fighting a war right now. And she's like, but you're so dreamy. And we're like, we get it. We all get it.
Everyone
All the
wants
sides.
to hit that, but there's a war on.
Yeah, and also, he's older than he looks.
That's true. Viggo Mortensen is a lot older than he looks for some reason.
And so is Aragorn the character.
Yep.
Yeah.
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 Anyway, so
Nerd
yeah, I think we're all kind of on the maybe but side of this
Except
one.
for Megan.
Megan's on the maybe train.
Okay.
I ship it. It's fine.
Like, look, sometimes it's fun to ship people that will save each other, even though in real life it don't usually work out that way.
No.
But
like,
it's sometimes nice to see we're like, oh, they're helping each other and they're both getting better and stronger, and then they love.
With the
They're all
little puff
growing.
being like, oh, what did you expect? A hug and a kiss? I'm like, not now, but maybe
Ouching.
That puff is the fandom. X with a shotgun says Aku catfish.
Sure did. Yeah, he sure did.
The best.
It was amazing. It's literally one of my favorite moments in the series, and I feel terrible for loving it so much.
That's beautiful.
That episode's dope.
And we have a couple comments in the hashtag because you guys are wonderful. Adrian Ruiz says, as a film student, episode 3 made me jealous. They found a way to They found a way to make white space beautiful.
Yes.
And Devoror says, adventures in Ashi sitting.
Yeah.
Yes.
To all of it.
Yeah, I could
pretty
talk
much.
about that tree scene forever. It's just the white, and then to have a sense of trees, but there to be nothing but white and negative space. And then to come up on top of the mountain and see the white dissipate, and then you have suddenly a background. And I was like, which artist was just like, oh man, I got it today. Like, I know exactly. It's going to be so beautiful to blow their minds. And they totally did.
Being
It was
like
just
white on
You
white
know,
on
the
white on white.
storyboarders are just doing this like, hell yeah.
Yeah.
It was amazing, and then also to establish relative size with nothing, just Jack in a sea of white, and yeah, I understood kind of where he was in the forest. It's stunning artwork. It's just so I feel like we don't what did we do to deserve artwork this good?
Yeah.
We're not worthy.
We're not
Truly.
worthy.
We are not worthy of Genndy Tartakovsky's
Bless you,
magnum
sir.
opus. This
Yeah.
is amazing.
Bless you.
Well, and I adored it was almost a self-important monologue, just like your choices let you hear this, that, and the other, getting continually interrupted.
Yes.
Like, that is one of my favorite tropes, is like, no, don't let a monologue screw
Yeah.
up, it's hilarious. And I honestly think that he was stalling until that fog bank rolled in for cover.
I think you're right.
Like, I
think you're right.
legitimately think that it was like, I said my piece, the fog's not here yet. I have more things to say.
What would Dad say?
Other things.
Oh,
Love
by the
it.
way, I loved the flashbacks that Jack would always have about being a kid and about growing up with the ideals that he had to live up to, and how that shaped the person that he is now. So when this flashback started, I'm like, oh, little Jack again.
He's so precious.
I did not anticipate that the end of the flashback would be him covered in someone else's blood. I'm like, oh, that is clearly a memory.
really
that
like
we're
that.
in.
Maybe for the first time?
Yeah.
We're an Adult Swim show now.
Yeah.
Yes. I like the dichotomy of the father that we're seeing too. Sometimes he's, weak and strung up and you're the only one who can save us, and sometimes he's this larger than life figure who can slay an entire team of assassins in seconds. And I think it kind of again deals with this passing of time in Jack's life, reflecting on how you see your parents as a child to how you see them as an adult. And I'm really hoping for some kind of conclusion for him. And I know we can jump around in time, and I just feel like we're not going to get it. It makes me nervous. Does anyone else have this anxious feeling about his dad and these unresolved feelings?
Yeah.
I'm not nervous as much as I'm excited because I just feel like they're bringing it up for a reason.
Excited and nervous feel
it's
the
gonna
same
be.
time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I get it.
The last time he actually saw
Let's wander into predictions for
Okay.
this then.
Yeah.
Let's
do
do
it.
that. I say with absolutely no warning.
And now, your AfterBuzz TV predictions.
Mark in the back is on it. He's like, I don't even need a heads
Great
up.
job, Mark.
Yeah, well done, sir.
But I gotta say that the last time he saw his dad was working in a slave camp for Aku, so that makes a lot of sense why there's this vision of him as the emperor, and then this from when he was a kid, and then the last time he saw him, which both his parents were very weak and very feeble.
Yeah.
But yeah, so talking about predictions, We have one person wondering if the future time portal was in the chat is still a possibility. We talked about that a little bit last week. It's still a possibility. It's still out there. I actually like floating the theory that there is no way home, and that the character arc for Jack in this season is having to come to terms with there is no going back. Moving forward is the only way to rid the world of Aku.
Oh my goodness.
I still can't wait for the resolution of what is this black samurai on green? Like, what is this? Why do we keep seeing it? What's it going to be? And I'm waiting for a very bad brush with death and having that little meetup. And I really do think that at least one of the other two sisters that took the fall is still alive, because I don't see this series throwing away Ashi having to fight at least one of her sisters who was raised in the same way that she was, saying, no, everything we knew was wrong.
It'll be interesting to me to watch Jack introduce Ashi to the world, especially because he's such an outsider's view and perspective on it already. I'm excited to see him share his views.
Go ahead.
And then I was just also excited to see Ashi have to go back to... I'm not sure if one of her sisters survived, but they're like a whole clan. They're like a religious group dedicated to Aku, and I don't think she's going to want to continue that spreading. So I'll be excited to see her go back and have to face the people that trained her.
Mm-hmm. Or, inevitably when they come after her for betraying them.
Oh, yeah, that too.
Yeah, and Mom, who she has a nightmare about, screaming at her, kill the samurai. Like, oh, we're all messed up here.
Yeah.
The only other prediction I have is I can't wait for the moment where Ashi inevitably meets the Scotsman, one of Jack's only friends.
Yeah.
If he's still alive.
He's 100 years old.
Confirmed.
Yep.
It's been confirmed.
Really?
He's in the promos for this season.
Someone earlier was predicting that he'll be here next episode, which
I
would
would
be really
love that.
exciting.
I miss that guy.
Yeah.
I do too. I'm worried for him then, because this is a darker series.
Oh, yeah, he's
too
gonna be
too
super
precious
dead.
for this world.
What if he's like Frankenstein Scotsman, where he's alive, but just like...
Scotsman! I'm in.
Just barely holding on.
You got me.
Yeah.
I can see him as kind of an elder for his clan, and then we have a younger Scotsman who is more willing to set out, like, I knew the samurai. What are you drinking that you stayed so young? Take this guy, he'd be perfect.
It'll be
now
like
he
Aang
wields
and
the magic
Boomy
sword.
in Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Yes.
Yes. Oh my God, that would be really awesome. Just like a young Jack and a
Old
really old
friends.
Scotsman. Yes.
I love that. I want to see it. I want to see Jack ride in on that wolf as the Green Samurai and be like, "I've been watching you. Do you need this?" And just hand him the sword, and he's like, "Oh, thank you." And then they just kind of like, "You're
I
welcome."
want the wolf to be like...
Why were you always so far away? I didn't want to bother you. Oh.
I want the wolf to be like
Appreciate
Sheba in Walking Dead, where she's just sort of in the background, and then there's a fight. It just comes out of nowhere and mauling the shit out of people.
Yes.
Like, but for the wolf,
Ghost
it's
style.
just like, and now I attack. It'll be a lot of fun.
I love that we have this dichotomy between, we have all these crazy futuristic creatures, we have the giant creatures, we have the green, crazy hinge-mouthed tigers, but we also have normal wolves and deer and ladybugs. Like, somehow we've managed to come to an ecological equilibrium, because otherwise they would have all died out with this influx of extra natural horrors. I don't know.
Yeah.
Excellent point.
I mean, we have like these alien-like creatures, and him. It'll be interesting to see if they decide to fill us in on any of the backstory, or I kind of like your idea, Megan, where it's just like in order to like defeat the evil, it's just forward. Like there is no explanation. We just are where we are.
Terribly tragic if there was no going back. But like at the same time, this is a darker series.
If 13 Reasons Why taught me anything, it's you cannot go back. There is only forward.
It's true.
We're dealing with all kinds of heavy subjects. My TV has gotten dark this summer. I don't understand.
Well, and even if he does go back, will that destroy all of the people that he saved in the future?
Oh, I have questions.
Dilemmas.
I would don't envy Samurai Jack. Like I would not want to be in Jack's place.
No,
It's not a happy place.
No, thank you.
I think we're all just kind of looking at this and going, why do people always ask what fictional character you'd want to be? Everyone has problems.
Yeah. They all have to save the friggin' world.
Some of them have better libraries than
exhausting.
others.
Very few of them
this
just
is
eat
true.
snacks and chill.
All right, so I
sounds
think
exhausting.
we are all predictioned out. I would
Yes.
like to take a moment to talk to you guys about iTunes, and then we will swing on out. I just checked iTunes. It's still a little empty.
Oh no!
What?
If you guys like this after show, if you want to keep us on the air as an after show, the best thing you can do is to head over to iTunes to subscribe to the podcast version of this after show, to rate us 5 stars, and to leave a review. If you do leave those ratings and reviews, they affect our standings in iTunes rankings, and so when you search for Samurai Jack in iTunes, we are a little further up on the charts, and we're easier to find and easier to get more people into the after show.
And to share with your friends.
Yeah, of course. And our producers take a look at the reviews on iTunes and say, you know, people really like this after show. We should keep them. So if you want to keep us on the air as an after show, that is the best way to support us. And when we get reviews, we do give you guys a shout out on the air. We don't have any yet, so you could be the first. Also, it does take a few days to post a review in iTunes. You put it up, and then for some reason there's a delay. So if you posted it Saturday night, it's not going to show up on Sunday. So be a few days early. And if you post your review in an iTunes store that is not the American iTunes store, or if you post it in the podcast feature of Google Play, please screen cap that and throw that in the Twitter hashtag. Again, that's ABTVJack. We do like to see those. We just have trouble seeing those because there's like 30 iTunes stores.
Yeah, there
It's a real scavenger
I
hunt.
only have one.
Yeah, no kidding. All right, thank you for joining us in the hashtag. Thank you for joining us in the chat. Thank you guys for watching. You are fantastic. Andrew, where can the people find you?
Find me on the internet, AndrewMenaComedy.com, or at Twitter, Andrew Mena, AndrewMena.
Hey guys, I'm Joelle Monique. You can find me all over the internet at Joelle Monique and every week at blackgirlnerds.com. If you want to find me here doing the AfterBuzz show, I'm here Wednesday doing the Magicians, and Thursdays Powerless and Riverdale and I don't know, other things. Check it out. Just look at the schedules.
I'm Megan. You guys can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at The Menguin. That's TheMenguin. I am also on a bunch of shows here at AfterBuzz, and I write articles for The Movie Chick. That's Chick with 2 Ks. Be sure to check those out.
And I'm Katie Cullen. You can find me all over the social medias and on YouTube at Kiaxet. That is Kiaxet. Attack on Titan starts tomorrow. That's Monday nights at 8 p.m. Pacific. We're looking at the first 2 episodes of season 2. It's going to be great. Windows. Wow. Arrow is still on hiatus until the end of the month because that's now Windows in my brain. Windows. Iron Fist is Tuesdays, and I am a regular on Geek and Sundry's Gather Your Party on Friday nights.
Yes,
We will probably not be doing this show next week because it is Easter Sunday, and we are down 2, potentially 3 hosts. So
We'll keep you posted.
We will keep you posted, but odds are we're not going to do it. So we will see you back here in 2 weeks. Thank you guys so much for watching, and we will see you next time.
Bye, guys!
Bye!
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
It's called acupuncture.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.